Now it's time for us to meet some very hot startups from great space. And they're now going to pitch their ideas for us live. And they only have 5 minutes each. So I welcome up the first startup, News. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Rolf Beck, and I'm an IT entrepreneur living here in Sundsvall. 2 years ago, a friend of mine wrote an article about Tesla's batteries on Facebook. He's a journalist from a local newspaper, and this article was so great, so I endorsed him for it, and I told him, you should put this in the local newspaper. And then he told me about the agenda of the newspaper. They don't want this kind of content. And I was a bit intimidated about this, and I thought, well, is it up to the newspaper to tell me what to read or not? So I asked him in the Facebook Messenger, why isn't there a Spotify for journalists who publish content, and I, as a reader, can select content and read that? And from that moment, the idea of News was born. We are now launching this site and app for local news all over Sweden. So you can live in a small town in Sweden and subscribe to local news. 70% of the fees go out to the reporters, the journalists. So we could create hundreds, maybe thousands of new jobs in Sweden, especially in northern parts. I could tell you, I have a few more minutes. 2 weeks ago, we were appointed as one of the most innovative startups in Sweden by Vinnova, a Swedish Innovation Institute maybe. And Microsoft had decided to sponsor us with 3.5 million crowns. So we have also, thank you. We also have made this first funding round now, Series A, where we have 8 local business angels investing in our company. So we are ready to launch any week now. News. Remember it. Thank you. And now I'm introducing Sanna Granas from Runo, Sweden.
Thank you. So, Rune is a Nordic name that means secret wisdom, but it's also a name for a set of letters that were used thousands of years ago by people who carved them into stones to tell their stories, to leave them throughout time. So, I think it's time for us to tell our stories today. As Rolf said, my name is Sanna Granas, and I have a background in sales and leadership and stone collecting, and I'm the founder of Rune of Sweden. And Rune is a jewelry brand that makes unisex jewelry, and our first product is a new kind of jewelry that you attach on top of your shirt button that we call the shirt mark. So we created a new kind of product that created a new branch in the jewelry industry, and also a new way to express who you are and what you stand for. And I wore a lot of shirts earlier, and I thought it was a lack of a way to express and dress up. So I started thinking about the alternatives that were. And did you know that the tie was invented in the 16th century? So I started thinking about that, and a lot has happened since then, and I thought it was time for a new alternative to enter the stage. So, and that leads us to our mission, make your mark. So we like to do things differently in our own way and be the kind of a teenage rebel. So, and that we want that to showcase in the choices we make as a company and the products we offer to our customers. And to give you a few examples, most of the jewelry brands are based in Stockholm, and we want to be based here. Another thing is that the thing to do, the easiest way to do it is to make the jewelry in Asia or Southern Europe, but we make them here by industrial technicians in the high coast. When others use real paid models. We use humans from the high coast on our pictures, and they use silver and gold, and we use brass and steel and so forth. And when they use tie, we use the sharp mark. And our design is inspired by the high coast nature, the raw and grand landscape, and the business industry that we're known for. And we want to combine these two into our products. And the design DNA is called loud simplicity. And that is our direction with our products. And another for me, a fun fact about the high coast, it's a World Heritage Site, maybe you know that. And for 20,000 years ago, this area was covered with 3 kilometers thick layer of ice that pressed down the earth. And since then, it has risen 800 meters, which is the biggest land uplift on earth. So for me, that's kind of the greatest comeback on earth. So that's quite inspiring too. We launched the brand 2016, about a year ago in Copenhagen, and since then we've we've gotten our first retailers, and we've been published in different fashion magazines, in Vogue and GQ and the Swedish Cafe and Odalisque and so on. And we've been chosen as one of the precious talents, which is one of the most promising rising stars in the Nordic watch and jewelry industry, which was great. So this year we want to focus on reaching outside of Sweden and searching for more people that want to be on this journey and help us. So if you're that person, or if you know that person, you could come visit me later. I would be here all day. I have products to show and some pieces to sell. If you're lucky, I have a few of them with me. So thank you very much. And now you will be listening to Jonas from Nordic Health.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for meeting all these interesting people. I'm Jonas Berggren, CEO of Nordic Health Innovation, and we are building the future of primary care. We start in Sweden, actually in extreme rural areas in north of Sweden with a global market. And how are we doing this? We are moving care from the hospital to the community, to the actual people, with a new way of using remote care technology and telemedicine. And the concept has been evaluated by the research organization Center of Rural Medicine. It's a new way of bringing specialist knowledge directly to the people. And what can you do in these virtual health room services? Actually, everything that you need to check for your own health you can do. You can take blood pressures, blood sugar, health. You can talk directly to the specialist, but you do that at your home or at your where the older people lives. So you do it in the society. Our new way of doing it is to build the next generation of HealthGate, who consists of 3 things. One, a very intuitive interface. And the interface we have built with these elderly people. So an 80-plus lady should be able to manage all these difficult techniques. Press a button, get help, how you can measure your blood pressure. The second part we have evaluated is a MedTech sensor hub, so you can collect and connect all data. And the third part is that we have made a data aggregation hub, so you can use a lot of data, huge amounts of data, and you can use it for the future when it comes to business intelligence and artificial intelligence. So we're building the system for tomorrow's healthcare, actually. A healthcare that is proactive. So the system tells you when you are going to be ill. Not today, reactive. You get ill, you get treated. You get ill, you get treated. And we are working with a lot of partners. We're working with Ericsson, Microsoft, who is world leader when it comes to tomorrow's infrastructure in this big data, IoT, cloud computing world. But we are also working with small companies like Kaleo. You who was here yesterday perhaps heard Leo Johard talked about artificial intelligence for sustainable development. And we're working with Sigma and so on and so forth. And now we're going live in 3 weeks and going to test it in the extreme rural areas, because if you can make systems that function here with very sparsely population, the system will function in megacities or whatever. So we will test it in extreme rural areas. At the same time, this is distant bridging technology. So we have talked to Zanzibar, Tanzania, Kenya, because the same technology can be applied in the ruralness of Kenya, or where you don't have specialists. Or you can have specialists in Sweden treating people in Tanzania, or Tanzania in Sweden. Is the new world makes no border. McKinsey shows that in Sweden you have a saving potential for 6.5 billion Swedish crowns yearly when it comes to digitalization. And then you increase the level of healthcare. But you can increase the level and save a lot of money. So what we are doing now, we are launching, get a real good proof of concept, and then we are in the scaling phase on Q4, and looking for partners who want to be with us in this very thrilling journey to build a company that has a global potential and that actually make the world a little better. Thank you. And now we have Ticketbird.
Thank you. Hello there. Thank you for being here at Grönborgs. Thank you for watching online. It's an awesome day here with a lot of great energy. I really love it. Good job, everybody. Let's talk about Ticketbird, but first I have some questions about customer support. Have you ever been waiting on the phone being transferred between different agents? Have you ever felt that you know more than the person picking up the phone? Then you've probably also been disconnected by then when you finally reached the expert you wanted to talk to. I know that customer support can be painful. I know that the agents, they are frustrated too. They have to spend time in 7 different systems to find the answers, and they also answer repetitive questions all day. And I know that companies, they waste a lot of money due to bad customer support. My name is Magnus. I'm working at Ticketbird as a customer success manager. And I know that customers, they will love you or they will leave you. Storytelling here told you that. And what we did was we talked to a customer 5 years ago and started to talk about knowledge transfer, because I'm convinced that the problem here, the key reason, is lack of knowledge. We live in a world where we have more knowledge than ever. Still, it seems like we can't find a good way to share, distribute, and reuse that knowledge. So we started to collaborate around knowledge transfer. We talked to a world-leading manufacturer of sensors, a technology used for automation. And today, I'm proud to say that we did it. We built an AI-powered knowledge base. And when we did, we found a way to automate the knowledge transfer process. So we talked about this with 200 different companies. We met them and asked, how do you work with knowledge transfer every day? And they said, we want to work in this new way, but we lack the everyday tools to do it. So we started out by targeting e-commerce companies, giving them what they want, better tools for sales and conversion. Better tools for sales and conversion. Sorry. Yeah, so how does it work? I bet you were wondering that. Okay, so we collect all the questions from all channels and we connect them to the knowledge base. And by channels, I mean Facebook, live chat, emails, internal chat. And all the known questions can be answered automatically in real time, while the unknown answers questions are sent to the right expert, not the wrong person. And when this expert receives the question, we also give this person additional data about the customer, the order history, the payment history, notes from the CRM system, and they can see all this in one system instead of 7. And of course, the answer from this expert is saved, stored, and reused. So, right now, we're looking for seed funding. We're looking for partners and customers to validate this idea. The seed funding will be used to enhance the artificial intelligence. It will be used to validate the product market, and we will further extend the connection to the CRM and the phones. And I know that Ticketbird will solve the problems I talked about, and I'm passionate about making customers more satisfied and agents less frustrated. So I just want to say thank you for letting me share my knowledge with you today, and let's save the world together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's have these great people up on stage again and give them a big applause. These are some really great ideas. All great ideas, which you all have the answer to the question, why, I guess. Why are you doing this? Yes.
For me, it's very personal. I've been CEO for a long period of time and have a lot of management positions. But what I'm really passionate about is to be able to be a part in changing the world to a better place. So what I'm doing when I'm building a company is building a company that I think can provide in building the society that I want my children to grow up in. So for me, it's a personal being. And being an entrepreneur, you have the possibility to do that. And when you're a startup, you can choose what kind of seed money do you want, actually. What kind of partners do you want to jump in bed with to actually have the same passions to achieve the goal.
Yeah, I'm not going to jump in your bed. The reason why I do it is because of it's a hard thing for me, because we have democratic problem in Sweden. People are actually not getting information from their local community. No one listens to them and no one tells them about changes. That is a big democratic problem in Sweden, and probably in more countries as well. So that is the short answer to that.
Yeah, a lot of reasons, but one of them are, I'm from a small city, and I've often got the question, are you still here? Why haven't you moved? And yeah, so I want to be able to build something here and be able to live here and give something back, hopefully, if it all turns out the way I want to. Yeah.
For me, it's really simple. I don't want anyone to ever experience bad customer support again.
This morning I have mentioned many times this co-creating word. How has sort of co-creating been important for you in getting where you are today? Do you understand my question? You can, yes.
For me, it's everything, because I know IT. I don't know a bit about journalism, so I need other people, of course. So we kind of co-creating it together. Yeah.
For me, it's the whole thing, actually. I think if you are going to change and create something, you need to have influence from other cultures, other knowledge transfer from other business, and then you can create something new. If you don't do that, you are stuck in the same old wheel spore.
Track.
Wheel track.
Yeah, I would also say everything because I'm alone in the business, but I have a lot of people around me that's helping me achieve the things we want to achieve, and the customers, of course, are also co-creating because without them, what's the point? So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Sanna here that it's all about co-creation together with your customers. So we give them the channel to say what they want, what their needs are, what their pains are, and then we resolve it, give them an answer, and the company grows.
Does anyone in the audience have a question to this? Yes, Carl. We can take that one, yeah.
Yeah, I had a little conversation yesterday during lunch here that we live in these...
Keep it a bit closer, the mic.
We live in these times, I'm thinking about you, Mr. News. Because we see now all these alternative facts and tendencies and fake news and so on, and there needs, probably there will be a market opportunity for, you know, journalism, which is some kind of certified delivery of trust. Items of news that you know that from this source they have some way of validated news, you know, and algorithms to check sources of sources where things twist to become some kind of story that wasn't really the real fact, when we have all these trolls in trying to affect elections in other countries and so on. So is that something you are thinking about?
Yeah, we do. First of all, we have this central editorial office, Centralredaktion in Swedish, where information is manually checked. But we also have a lot of advanced algorithms that checks information. That is true. But most of the information that we will publish, I hope, will not be in that kind of position where a different angle can mean something else about the stories, I think. Because it's easy to think that our content will be the same as the content that's already there, but it's not. Because I think that we have millions of untold stories in smaller cities around Sweden that will be told. And then the fact checking is not that important for that stories. But in other stories we have these algorithms. So yeah, we have thought about it a lot, I can tell you.
Okay, any more questions? No? Perfect. Well, this is great, and we're going to soon have a break again where you get some coffee and there's sandwich in the back. And please ask those people questions. One of the things that I have really learned during these past days here when I've been co-creating with people is to ask questions. We have really been encouraging each other to ask questions. And the good questions are the ones that also creates innovation, entrepreneurship, and love as well, Reg, right? Can you give him the microphone? Yeah. Thank you for joining.
I was just going to say one thing. All of you are doing amazing things. Please just ask for what you need, because we want to support you, and that's the whole spirit of co-creation. So if anything that you need, and we've had conversations that connected different people together, different cultures together, and from us coming from all the way from Los Angeles and really experiencing this, we just want you to just reach out and ask, and any way we can help, we're there.
That's great. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you.